Marcus stared at his reflection in the bathroom mirror at 3 a.m., his bloodshot eyes telling the story of another sleepless night spent scrolling through his phone. At 28, he felt like he was drowning in his own mediocrity. His apartment was a mess, his bank account was empty, and his dreams felt more distant than ever. That night, something inside him snapped. Tomorrow, he whispered to his reflection, everything changes. But Marcus had said those words before. Countless times. What made this different was a single book that would fall off his nightstand the next morning, Atomic Habits, by James Clear. As he picked it up, a quote jumped out at him, "You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems." The first habit Marcus decided to implement was almost laughably simple, making his bed every morning. His friends mocked him when he mentioned it. "Making your bed is going to change your life," they scoffed. But Marcus remembered reading somewhere that, "The way you do anything is the way you do everything." Day 1 felt insignificant. Day 7 felt routine. But by day 30, something magical happened. That perfectly made bed became a symbol of control in his chaotic life. It was his first victory of the day, and it created a ripple effect he never expected. The second habit followed naturally, drinking a glass of water immediately upon waking. Then came 5 minutes of meditation. Then a 10-minute walk around the block. Each habit was so small that it seemed almost pointless, but Marcus was beginning to understand what the ancient Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu meant when he said, "The journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step." By month 2, Marcus noticed his co-workers commenting on his energy levels. "You seem different," his manager Sarah observed. "More focused." She was right. The small morning victories were compounding into larger afternoon successes. He started arriving at work 15 minutes early, not because he had to, but because he wanted to. He began reading industry articles during lunch instead of mindlessly scrolling social media. The transformation wasn't without its challenges. On day 43, Marcus woke up with the flu. Every fiber of his being wanted to skip his routine, to crawl back into bed and abandon his newfound discipline. But he remembered a quote from motivational speaker Jim Rohn, "We must all suffer from one of two pains, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret." Even sick, Marcus made his bed. He drank his water. He meditated for just 2 minutes instead of 5. He didn't walk around the block, but he did walk to his kitchen and back. These microhabits during his weakest moment became his greatest strength. By month 6, Marcus was unrecognizable. He had been promoted at work, not because he suddenly became brilliant overnight, but because his consistent small actions had built a reputation for reliability and growth. He had saved $3,000 simply by making coffee at home instead of buying it, a habit that started as a 5-minute morning routine extension. The most profound change came in his relationships. His consistency in small things had made him more present with friends and family. He started texting his mother every morning after his meditation. He began calling his college roommate every Sunday. These tiny acts of connection had rebuilt bridges he thought were permanently burned. "Success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out," Robert Collier had written, and Marcus was living proof of this truth. 1 year later, Marcus stood in front of the same bathroom mirror, but this time at 6 a.m. after his morning routine. The man staring back at him was confident, healthy, and purposeful. He had lost 30 pounds, gained a promotion, built an emergency fund, and most importantly, discovered that he was capable of keeping promises to himself. His phone buzzed with a text from his younger brother, "I want to change my life, but I don't know where to start." It all seemed so overwhelming. Marcus smiled, remembering his own desperation exactly 1 year ago. He typed back, "Start with making your bed. Everything else will follow." As he headed to the kitchen to prepare his breakfast, another small habit that had transformed his health, Marcus reflected on the most important lesson he had learned: we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. Aristotle's words had never felt more true. The man who once felt powerless had discovered that the smallest actions, done consistently, had the power to reshape an entire life. And it all started with a perfectly made bed.